Hi, my name's Steve Hull, editor of TKC Mag and TotalKitCar.com, and welcome to our news, albeit slightly late, apologies, for February 2024. Incidentally, we do these videos in association with Neil Winnington's Enwin Motors channel. If you could subscribe if you haven't already done so to both channels, and also hit the like button on both channels, that will be much appreciated. We have exclusive stuff on each of our channels, and sometimes you'll see the same things that we each do on the other, if that makes sense. But it's completely in association with each channel, so there's no chicanery going on there. Neil and I are quick to confirm on that. Anyway, let's get started. Oh, where's me? I haven't got Big Ben, so here we go. First up this month, Bruce Myers was the creator of the Manx beach buggy that we all know as the beach buggy, and probably the most copied car in the whole world, really, when you think of just how many beach buggies have looked just like a Manx. Dear old Bruce died in 2020. He'd been making those on and off since about 1967, perhaps. But the company's been taken over by a guy called Philip Sarafim and the CEO Freeman Thomas. And now Freeman Thomas is a very prolific and skilled car designer with some serious credentials on his CV. How about designing the Audi TT and also the resurrected Dodge Charger in the States? Company based in the States, should point out, but as we got quite a few friends from over the pond that listen to this, I hope they find it of interest as something on their own market. Well, they've just brought out a new. It's been mooted for a couple of years, but the production version is now out, and it's called the Myers Manx 2.0 EV, standing for electric vehicle. And we've got a photo of it here. They say it's a blue car. They say it's a new take on the beach buggy theme, and that may well be so. They haven't revealed the origins of the batteries or the motors, but they are claiming 200 brake horsepower, or the equivalent of. Now, that's going to be some serious rapidity in a beach buggy. When you think that if you're lucky, you might get 40 horsepower, or a big bore, 70, 80 horsepower for a real push. It does weigh, thanks to the weight of those batteries and the electric motor, 1,650 kilos. But even so, 200 horsepower will sure counteract that. There is some talk of it being available in the UK. I don't know about officially yet. We'll bring you that if that ever happens. It's a rival really for Robin Hall's Mika Mion buggy. But the Manx, they expect a retail price equivalent. Now, it'll probably be more expensive in the UK, but in America, I think it's the equivalent of 55,000. But that will be, I expect, seriously more expensive than that if it ever goes on sale in the UK. There's also, I don't really call it a budget version, but it's a sort of a city car version, limited to 25 miles an hour, and that's called the Resorter, and that's that sand-coloured buggy we've got here with the orange interior and the little flip windscreen. That one in the States is the equivalent of 35 grand. I'm not sure if that one's going to come to the UK. Incidentally, they still produce their buggies in kit form. Well, one model anyway. They still make the Manxter, and that's available as a kit package. www.mayersmanx.com for that more on that one.
This is Car Builder Solutions 12-circuit wiring module, which forms the basic heart of a wiring loom. It's all the difficult bit is all done for you behind all the components. There's 12 fuses, a relay for a horn and a fan. So there are two rows of connections. Each screwed connection has a position which is referenced on the chart and the instructions. For instance, the upper row, terminal number 1, is a live feed to the light switch. So you connect terminal number 1 to your light switch. Terminal number 4 connects to the battery terminal on the starter motor, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that one. Power feed to the module. It comes with a bag of terminals for your connections at this end.
And it's available from www.carbuilder.com, or if you want to email, info@carbuilder.com.
This is a new range of warning lights and switches from Car Builder Solutions. It's a stainless bezel mounted in I think it's about 22mm hole. The switches are either momentary, which would be the case for the starter switch, or latching, which would be the case for this rear fog switch, or no switch at all if you just want to use it as a warning light. There's 3 colour LED internal lighting in each of these, and the instructions are in the catalogue and on the website, and you can wire any combination, any of the 3 colours as illumination, or a combination of the colours, so you can mix and match red and yellow, for instance, to make an orange colour. And the rest of the terminals are for the double pole switch, which is internal, and the rest of the wires are for the internal switch, either single pole or double pole, or changeover.
And it's available from www.carbuilder.com, or if you want to email, info@carbuilder.com.
This is one of the cooling fans from Car Builder Solutions range. This one's a 10-inch fan, and it's easily mounted through the core of the radiator using these using these fixings. These fans can be either a pusher or a puller, so by undoing this nut you can reverse the blade or the rotation, so you can have it mounted on the front or the back of the radiator. You can have it as a pusher or a puller.
And it's available from www.carbuilder.com, or if you want to email, info@carbuilder.com.
This is the latest under dash aircon unit from Car Builder Solutions. It comes with mounting brackets and a condensate drain kit, so you can mount it underneath the dash of a truck, Range Rover, van, anything where you've got room enough to get this underneath. It comes with the temperature control here, it's built in, and fan speed here. It comes with 2 eyeball vents which you can direct up to your passenger or your driver's face, and 2 rocking vane vents which you can direct down into the footwell. The air conditioning connections are at the back, and the very simple 2-wire connection on the loom here. While this unit is all pretty much self-contained, of course you'll still need an engine-driven compressor and a condensing radiator with possibly a fan on it. And these are all available from Car Builder Solutions through their website or on the catalogue.
And it's available from www.carbuilder.com, or if you want to email, info@carbuilder.com.
Remembered. Burton Power just launched a new replacement steel sump pan for the CVH engine. Not a massively popular engine in terms of numbers used in kit cars, not like the Pinto or the Crossflow, of course, but the CVH, there's quite a few cars with that engine in it, in them, and The new Burton part features 1.3, 1.4, 1.6 and the RS Turbo model, because don't forget that was basically a CVH, hotted up CVH. More on that from 0208 554 2281 if you don't forget to add the international dialing code if you're outside of the UK, or www.burtonpower.com. Another one, another American company, but their parts are widely available in the UK, so this one appeals to everybody, I hope. If you're an Austin Healey Sprite MG Midget, actually Sprite, actually, forget the Midget, or a kit car conversion based on the same, you might be interested in this piece. It's an aluminium flywheel from Fidanza, who are known for their clutches and flywheels and such like, world famous in fact. And it's a lightweight item. Have you ever seen a Healey Sprite flywheel? It weighs a ton. Anyway, this one is said to give faster throttle response and quicker acceleration. Allegedly gives a little bit of horsepower. Don't know that for certain, but that's what they claim. Smoother and faster gear shifting. And cost savings and longevity, thanks to Fidanza's replaceable, what they call green friction plate. And that's that bit of green you can see on the photograph we got here. No need to replace I like that, because you don't need to chuck the whole flywheel when it's worn. You just replace the, much like a clutch plate, you just change that that green section. It's made for the 6163 Sprite. Part number is 126481 and retails in the US at the equivalent of $331 or $332, but that will be depending upon exchange and shipping if you want it to come to Europe and the UK. More from Fidanza.com. That's Fidanza, Fidanza.com. Oh, and incidentally, we update, I think I worked it out, at about 1,016 weeks since we started TotalKitCar.com back at Christmas Eve 2001. Proud to say we've never missed an update, a weekly update on a Friday ever since that time, which I think is a pretty impressive thing, really. That probably means I should get out more, but I'm pretty proud of that. And of course, you can find out all this information every week if you like it reading rather than being read to. Just visit our site anytime. You'll always be welcome. TotalKitCar.com. Great British Sports Cars, a company that never disappoints. They've always got something on the go, be it a new factory, new developments, etc., etc. Love the fact that they take on apprentices and they bring in students from local colleges. And just before we all broke up before Christmas, they welcomed a group of Year 2 motorsport students from Stafford and Newcastle College, NSCG College, to the GBS factory for a full factory tour, on which I'm sure they all enjoyed. And the college actually has an Ultimate Zero self-build kit on order, which those students were building as part of their whatever they call it, part of their year. But Ruth Hall, co-director of GBS, told me that they were looking forward to the kit after they were enthused by the build that they were by the tour they were taking on. And they're going, and as I said, the GBS works closely with colleges, and that's great. They then went straight to the Autosport International show at the NEC in Birmingham, and again they put on a nice display. A new high-spec version of the Zero race car caught my eye. Picture of that is here. And they had a road-going Zero as well, and both cars attracted, as you'd expect, a lot of attention. And they had other visitors as well. They had a company called Tritech 3D on their stand, who brought along one of their latest Ultimaker 3D printers, which was an interesting extra for people to see. And apparently that, I don't know much about that, but that printer is said to be an affordable starting point for anyone to get into 3D printing, and it's built for a wide variety of applications, including end-use parts, tooling, jigs and fixtures. Many of those would obviously be ideal for the automotive industry. More from Great British Sports Cars .co.uk or 01623 860 990. I forgot to do my little bong at the start. XCS Designs, well known for making a brilliant Cobra replica, and also the Lotus 7 inspired Daiichi. I think I've pronounced that correct. I think it's Italian for 10, but don't hold me to that. Anyway, they're known for those two great models, but they just after Christmas they announced a little extra, little novelty called a drift cart. And according to Harvey Rice, XCS boss, it came about from a crazy idea. They had one in a workshop one day. They built one just for a laugh, and customers that were coming to see progress on their 427s, several of them ordered one. So they've now got an inadvertent new model. And Harvey's welcoming people to order one now for the next Christmas. Anyway, xcs-designs.co.uk 01799 513 478. Just before Christmas, I got news of a brand new kit arrival, and we were the first to break it actually in the UK. It came from Lithuania, which I think could be the Baltic States' first original kit car design. There might have been a guy making a Cobra there, or acting as an agent for one of the leading UK's Cobra makers, I'm not sure. But anyway, this one comes from a company called Rhino Racing. It's called the RR01. And it was brought to our attention by our friend in Lithuania, a chap called Arūnas Raselis. I think that's how you pronounce his name, and forgive me if that's incorrect. And it's a lovely modern two-seater, original styling, made from GRP, got gull wing doors, underpinned by an aluminium alloy monocoque, no less, fabricated from 6061 T6, which is a quality material. Power comes as well from a reconditioned Audi R8 5.2 V10, so they're not messing around, complete with an Audi R8 intake manifold. So that means at least 550 horsepower. I've looked at the kit contents and it looks really, really impressive, with some seriously quality automotive aftermarket companies supplying parts: Tillett, Sachs, MME, AP Racing, Sabelt. And they've evolved from a company called Auto Hobbyist. And in fact, you know what? I think they may have been the Pilgrim agents over there. But anyway, they're talking about a starting kit price of €35,000. Not sure if it's available in the UK or if it's going to be. But have a look. They seem to be happy to supply direct from the factory, regardless of where you live. So www.rhinoracing.eu. An exciting looking car, that one.
News from Ross Parker of Slip and Grip Automotive, who's a friend of the Nwins Motors YouTube channel, to let us know that he's got a track day on the 18th of March, Castlecombe Circuit. Now, you know, that's not far away, and he still has a few spaces available, so he said he'd let us know. The cost is £200 per car, extra drivers £30, and passengers are £15. Now, Slip and Grip have a good reputation, Slip and Grip Automotive, and they've run track days at Castlecombe for 10 years, and by all accounts they're really nicely run. They're known for good on-track etiquette, and they like to encourage such. And there's usually a large variety of cars, and it doesn't really matter what skill level you are or what you drive, you're always welcome. And there's an open pit lane format, especially as there are spaces available. There's a reasonable, numbers are limited for maximum track time for those that come along. There's free instruction, free photography, and 100 decibel static noise limit at 3/4 revs, and slicks are permitted if you have a roll cage. You can book at www.slipandgripautomotive.co.uk /shop/events track days. Or if you just go to www.slipandgripautomotive.co.uk, I'm pretty sure you'll find your way to where you're looking for. If you do go, stick a GoPro camera on your car, send us some pictures of your car, get in touch with Enwins Motors YouTube channel, and we'll stick some footage up to show how the day went.
I think one thing we'll do in these news monthly news pieces is we'll do a little all our yesterday stroke ones that got away. I think that would be a nice thing to do. We'll kick that off actually with a nice little photo I found in the archive. As invariably I spend far too much time in there, although I don't see it that way. I'm doing proper work there. Anyway, it's the Status 365. It succeeded. Brian Luff rose through the ranks at Lotus. Quite a feisty character, but he rose from the ranks at Lotus. I think it started at Cheshunt, maybe when they went to Hethel, but as an apprentice and a racer of a Lotus 7 Series 4, Series 3 S3. He didn't like the S4. But by the time he left Lotus, he'd risen to technical works manager, I think. Quite a high up position in the workshop there, and he came out with what he thought the Series 4 should have been in the form of the status symbol, which later became the Mini Power. As the name suggests, it was Mini powered. Cracking little thing, I always thought. Meant to be an absolute deity to drive. But the car we're looking at here, not the prettiest, but again, a beautifully handling car. Came out after that. The state symbol stroke Mini Power was 71 and 73. 74 was his 365. Called the 365 because he reckoned it could be used every day of the year. That was his intention with a hard top, etc. And incidentally, the name Status, his company name. Someone told me it was because his favourite band was Status Quo. Now, I've several people have told me that is the case. A couple of others said he's speaking hokum, but I never really had the chance to ask him that before he sadly passed away. Anyway, Status were in Norfolk, home of ex-Lotus employees by the thousand. And I guess the styling was a curious mix on it. I suppose a bit of Clan Crusader, which he was involved in, Brian Love, and a bit of Lotus Elite, I suppose. And not surprising, I guess, again, because one of his best mates was John Frayling, and they were both involved at Lotus. But the 365 had a glass fibre and wood concoction bodywork arrangement. Seated 4. And featured, but I can't get beyond that side glass, 3-piece glass and a rear hatch. Unheard of practicality for a 70s kit car, indeed, a hatchback. And the monocoque body sat atop mini subframes, unsurprisingly. And allegedly he'd sold 40 of those between 74 and 81 before he really got his teeth stuck into the I suppose, for want of a better description, the Mini Sprint copy he did with the Status Mini. It was a very well engineered car, as you'd expect. Quality wasn't bad. It went very well. It cornered very well. Practical. Most of them, I think, were yellow as well for some reason, which is, I don't know why, but the mini parts were good. I suppose for its negative points, the proportions were a bit weird. Didn't like the side windows. And by all accounts, well, I guess like a Lotus Europa S1, where the chassis goes through the GRP body, meaning it's a pig to repair. I think you had similar problems with the Status 365. I've not seen one. I was thinking about it as I was doing this video before I was doing it. I think I saw one in about 1986, 87. So they've all gone to the kit car park in the sky, I think. But anyway, the one we photographed here and showing here is obviously a one being used quite enthusiastically by its driver there, covered in mud, which I thought was quite funny, and clearly the bloke is having fun. It's also loaded on that left hand side, as you can see. That front wheel is tucking in. I don't know the location. I thought Rallycross, but if you look behind it, that road is quite a sweeping road and it's far too big. It looks like a Norfolk country farm lane to me, but there again, it's got a 19, it's got a numeral on the side, so I think that could have been a bit of competition there, maybe a sprint or something, or an auto test. Actually, to me, that left-hand side, near side, actually looks like it's got like a furry coat on it, given all the mud that's been pebble dashed onto it. It's quite fun. But hope you enjoyed the photo, and we'll put one of these with each month with the news. Thank you. And I thought starting this month, another new piece we'll do in the little news video each month is we'll randomly go to our archive and pick out a kit car magazine from the past. The first one to kick off this time is September 2003 issue of Which Kit, which at the time was Philby was still editor. It cost a princely sum of £3.50, and I have to say Philby's production was brilliant in his magazine. Always very good. It was a good value for money, 132 pages, I think. Good value these days, £3.50. But anyway, we're going to home in on a bit of news. Leading the news in the September 2003 feature of Which Kit was the K1 Attack, which is a car that I've always thought was fantastic. It was marketed here for a little while by a company called Dynamic Performance, Mark Turner, I think, and he used to work for the Jordan F1 team, so he had some pedigree. That car came from Slovakia, I think. A real character called Dick Bob Kavanatsky, I think, is what's his name? If I pronounce that wrong, then I'm very sorry to Dick Bob. It's a real dramatic car, wasn't it? Honda based. Honda Accord, I think, 1993, which also meant you could use a Rover 600. Although if you used the Honda, you got the juicier and lovely VTEC 2.2 litre engine, which I think was good for about 200 horsepower. Dick Bob was going to fit the T series, but I don't think he ever got round to doing that. Later on, it became I don't think Bob ever really wanted to do it as a kit, and he was always looking at the fully built mass-produced market, which that car actually fitted perfectly. I mean, I could see that selling by the thousand. I really could. And certainly when he went to Ford, I think he did a deal with Ford for the Duratec engine, which was pretty much brand new at that time, and that included the 2.5 V6 or the 3 litre V6, and they would have been perfect for that car. It was a really clever chassis, the space frame chassis. It was really clever. They sold quite a lot of these in America, I think, but I'm not too sure how many actually are in the UK. Far too little. So that was majoring the news then, in 21 years ago. Unbelievable. In other news, Luego, who was still going back then in Peterborough, they just joined the Duratec set, Philby told us. There was also the new XDR2 from Westfield, the Audi TT 1.8 litre powered one. A budget version of the Dax Rush from DJ Sports Cars. It was all happening that month. Extreme, a company called Extreme, were launching a 355 replica, or pastiche. It was all happening. Bannon was advertising loud and proud in the magazine. They were selling lots of kits back then, and I think it's a nice, fun little thing actually. We'll do this every issue, every episode of news. I think. I wonder what it'll be next time. It'll all depend on what I pick out of the archive. Anyway, thanks for listening to our news update for February 2024. I hope you enjoy it. And as I said earlier, if you want up-to-date news on the kit and sports, special sports car industry, every Friday we update our news at totalkitcar.com. You'll be very welcome over there. Yeah, we look forward to welcoming you then. But if you prefer, or if you want that as well, come back, check back here at the start of every month, and you'll find a new news video, if that's the right word. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I look forward to welcoming you again soon, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for giving up a little bit of your day to listen to us or listen to me. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, and I'll turn the lights out if you hit that like button on your way out. Many thanks.